Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are going to be doing this iconic soft glam look that is really popular all over Instagram and that looks great on pretty much everyone. So I already moisturized my skin. I used the Inkey Snow Mushroom Moisturizer. Now to prime the skin, I'm using my Timeless Smoothing Primer from Tarte to fill in the pores and also mattify the skin for a nice even base. With this primer, I like to rub it in a little and then pat the primer into my skin. Moving on to the lips, I'm just going to apply a little bit of my Fenty Gloss Bomb. Now to prep the eyes, I'm going to be using my P. Louise eyeshadow base in the shade Rumor number 3 per usual. The first shade that I'm going to pick up is the Hoola Caramel Benefit Bronzer. I like to use bronzers in my crease at times because it's just a great neutral color to start a lot of eyeshadows. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush and I'm just going to be going back in windshield wiper motions and also pressing the shadow onto the lid. So I kind of just do a little bit of both. And then I got a fluffy brush just to make sure everything was blended. Yo, this is my first time getting my nails done since quarantine, and what? My nails looked really good across this palette. So I picked up the shade Ginger in the Jackie Aina and Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I love this eyeshadow. So what I did was I applied the shadow the same exact way I did the first one. I just kept it a little bit lower, more so into the crease. And then again, I got a fluffy brush, a clean fluffy brush, and I just made sure all of the edges were blended out. Now taking a Morphe M503, a more tapered brush, I'm just going to concentrate that shade Ginger into the crease a little bit more to just define that color. And then again, after every shadow, I got a fluffy brush and I basically just smooth out the edges. Using my Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, I just applied a small generous amount with my Real Techniques brush. So as you can see, I applied a very little amount onto the lid. I'm just tapping that eye primer onto my natural lid shape, and then I just took it a little bit higher with this concealer brush. I'm gonna leave all the brushes that I used down below, but I didn't really cut the crease, but I just wanted to, shape it out a little bit neater than what that Real Technique brush was doing for me. So you just want to make sure you tap out your eyeshadow primer until it's nice and smooth onto your lid. With this Colourpop shadow called Hear Me Out, I'm just taking a brush and going right over that eyeshadow primer with some tapping motions. You want to make sure you're tapping and not swiping because light colors like this, it's easy for the shadows to get patchy. But again, that's why you use your eyeshadow primer and you use tapping motions. So right where my lid shade and my transition shade meet, I just went in little windshield wiper motions just to clean up the crease. And taking that more tapered brush, I'm just gonna run that transition shade in my crease one more time. And here is my best friend and her nephew. They popped in on FaceTime and he was playing peekaboo. He's so cute. Now we're done with the eyeshadow. We're going to use the NYX matte liquid eyeliner. We're going to create a small wing, nothing too dramatic, but something real cute for the girls. I swear, doing eyeliner is not hard, but getting them even, that's the real trick. And I'm just going to clean it up with some Born This Way concealer in the shade Warm Sand, just to clean up the eyeliner, just to make it more even, and blending that out. I cannot live without this micellar cleansing water from Garnier. This is the waterproof one, and I'm just going to use that to just clean up the excess makeup. I'm just going to use this Airspun powder to further prime my skin. Using my Maybelline Super Stay foundation, I'm just going to lay this down with a concealer brush first. This is also the time where I like to clean up my eyebrows if you are new here. Using my damp Juno & Co sponge, I'm just going to be pressing that foundation into the skin and making sure I blend that down my neck. I'm just going to make sure that foundation is blended into that little crevice of my nose. Using my Colourpop No Filter stick in the shade Dark 190, I'm just going to use this to contour my face. I love this foundation stick. It is super creamy and easy to blend out. And I'm going to use the same contour color on my nose. This is also another Morphe brush that I'll leave down below. And then I'm blending that out. Using my UOMA Beauty Stay Woke Concealer, I'm using the shade Bronze Venus T2. I'm just going to apply the concealer to all the high points of my face, underneath my eyes, on my cupid's bow, around my lips, my chin, on my forehead, and down the bridge of my nose. Now I'm going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm using the shade Cookie. I'm just using this shade in the middle of the concealer that I placed to add a brightening effect. Using my Real Techniques 202 Instapop face brush. I love this brush for blending out my cream contour. So as per usual, I'm just going to blend out all of the areas that I added that contour stick. I added a little bit to my chin and I just blended that out right after. Now using a damp beauty sponge, it's time to blend out this concealer. I leave my under eyes last just because that creates more coverage underneath my eyes, and that is what I'm going for. And to blend out the concealer underneath my eyes, I'm using the pointier side of the sponge to get into all those creases to blend out my concealer as flawless as possible. If your concealer dries a little bit too fast and it's hard to blend out, you can always add a facial mist and it will help revive that concealer. So when I blend out my concealer, I actually blend from the bottom up. This creates a nice gradient effect with the two concealers that I applied. So if you guys want a full in-depth tutorial on how I highlight and contour, let me know down below if you guys are interested. Going in with my Fenty Matchstick in the shade Truffle, this is just going to add a little bit of depth and shadow to my contour. Since the first one was more warm, this is just going to add a nice chiseled effect. Now using my Banana Pro Filter powder from Fenty Beauty, I'm going to apply this with a damp sponge. I like to bake my concealer if I'm doing like a full face. So I'm just going to take the excess powder and actually press that on the chin and around my mouth. Going back in with my Hoola Benefit bronzer in caramel, I'm just going to use a Real Techniques fluffy brush. This is actually a blush brush, and I'm going to apply this to all the areas that I cream contoured. You always want to set your creams with powder, so this is what I'm doing here. This is actually one of my favorite bronzers. I'm so glad that they actually extended the shade range. With this Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush, I'm going to use this to contour my nose. I'm going to use that same bronzer. I'm taking this bronzer from the front part of my brow down towards the bridge of my nose. So since I bronzed my nose, I also want to make sure that I cut and bake the sides of my nose as well, just to make sure it gives a more cleaner, precise nose contour. Just how we carved out the nose contour, we're going to do the same thing and chisel out these cheeks. Using my Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara in the shade Cause I'm Black, I'm just gonna apply some mascara to my lashes. With my P. Louise Badda Black eyeshadow base, I'm actually gonna use this as an eyeliner today and tightline my waterline. Using my Blowing Smoke palette from Colourpop, I'm going to use this matte black eyeshadow called Let's Do It, and I'm gonna use this eyeshadow to set that eyeliner in place. I just quickly dusted off the bake from my forehead, and now I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara for my lower lashes. With this tapered brush that I actually got from Shein, I'm gonna dust off that baking powder from underneath my eye. I'm gonna use this big fluffy brush from Real Techniques to blend away this powder on our face. I'm also going to use my Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Tan to help bring some color back into our face and also prevent that white streak from underneath our baking. With my Mario Badescu facial mist, I'm just gonna spritz down the face to help get rid of any cakiness. Taking the Peach Crumbled Abuse blush out of my e.l.f. blush palette, I'm going to apply this to my cheeks. And whenever I use blush, I always use use this big fluffy Japanese brush to just make sure that it's as seamless as possible. I quickly popped on some random AliExpress lashes, and now I'm going to highlight using my ABH palette. I'm gonna take the shade Drippin' in Gold to highlight the highest points of my face, such as my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, my nose. With the Laura Geller Gilded Honey highlight, I'm just going to use this highlighter to pop this in the inner corner of my eyes as well as the tops of my eyebrows. I'm just going to run over my highlight with a damp sponge just to make sure that everything is not sitting on top of the skin. So using my Colourpop lippy liner in the shade Chi, I love this lip liner. I'm going to use this to outline my lips. I'm going to use these two NYX butter glosses. I'm going to use Madeline and Fortune Cookie. First, I'm going to use Madeline all over the lips and then Fortune Cookie in the center. Placing a lighter lip gloss in the center of your lips can really brighten up and add a nice ombre to the lips. I just wanted to define the lips a little bit more, so I used my Colourpop BFF3 lippy liner to define the lips a little more. And that is a wrap. This is another soft glam makeup look that I feel is very approachable, so cute and simple. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss another video. Bye.